Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
I'll tell you, I get no respect. My sex life, I'll tell you about my sex life. It's like shooting pool with a rope. You know, my wife, she says, come on over, there's nobody home. I went over there was nobody home. But no, I'm sorry, that's just my alter ego in a play that I'm doing. I'm playing Dr. Richard Harper, and he's got some other sides to him. And it's a play, Labor of Love, and it's written by Kosmond.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is a well-known award-winning playwright, producer, and actor. Since 1972, he discovered that he had a passionate love for the art of acting and decided to pursue a career in theater, and the rest is history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kosmond Russell. Greetings, Kosmond, and welcome once again back here at the Actor's Choice.
What an honor, privilege, and pure joy it is, Brother Brew. I know Ron Brewington, Brother Brew, to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you,
truly
Thank you.
humbled to be here.
Thank you. Feeling is mutual, we say. Now, where do I start with you? I mean, you have made tremendous contributions to the stage world, and we thank you, sir. Now, you were born where? Toledo, Ohio?
Toledo, Ohio, or as some people refer to it as a toodly-doo. Toodly-doo, Ohio, Toledo.
Oh, my gosh. Well, born in Toledo, stayed in Ohio, went to school, Bowling Green State University, and you got your first play there too, didn't you?
Yeah, I started acting my freshman year at college. I did a play called Ceremonies in Dark Old Men.
Uh-huh.
I think the author or playwright was Lonnie Elder III, and man, I just fell in love with acting as a result of that, and then went on to do some of the classics like No Place to Be Somebody, Matters of Choice, and several other plays while I was there on a full acting scholarship at Bowling Green State University.
Did you say James Pickens II, Jr.?
Oh, I didn't mention his name.
Yes,
but,
I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I did a couple of plays there.
Uh-huh.
And it was the African-American population at that time was maybe 3% on the campus, even though we did have a Black theater organization. And we decided to do No Place to Be Somebody. And we needed actors, and Jim Pickens and I were pretty close friends, and we tried to do a little doo-wop, you know, had a little singing group trying to be the Temptations. And so I went to Pick. I said, "Hey, Pick, man, why don't you come and audition for this place?" "Ah, man, I don't act." I said, "Look, you're a performer, and you're very intelligent, and you're a sharp guy. So come and audition." He auditioned for No Place to Be Somebody, got the lead role. For those that know the play, Johnny, who's the pimp in the in the play. And the rest is history, man. You can see he's just gone to a whole nother stratosphere. And we're still very good friends to this day. I just spoke with him maybe about a week ago.
Got you. The year was 1997. You had a play called The Visit. Remember that?
No.
Not that one.
No. Let me
Yes.
just make
I was
it
talking to
accurate.
Tony. I was talking to him.
I wrote The Visit in 1996.
Okay.
I didn't even know that I was a playwright because when I was at Bowling Green State University,
Yes.
I was pursuing a career as an actor or studying to become an actor. Moved to Los Angeles, and because of scheduling challenges, I decided I was going to try my hand at stand-up comedy. And so I had the privilege to work with Damon Wayans, even David Letterman, and many of the greats. But bottom line, my brother became ill and he was incarcerated. and I found out that he had AIDS, and I wanted to do something special. And I went to visit him, and the visit was so profound that I promised him, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but some kind of way I'm going to share your story with the world and allow your legacy to be profound and inspirational. And that's when I wrote The Visit. And a year later, I produced it. And 3 years later, it became a feature film and won all kinds of awards.
Tony, you can put that back up again. Now that's the film one, man. The Visit. There you go. There you go. Had some famous people in there too, didn't you?
Oh man. And to God be the glory. I have to say the reason why they signed on, it certainly wasn't because of the money,
right?
But they were touched and moved by the story, and they were like, "Wow, this is some real rich, inspirational, touching, honest dialogue and story." And just a little short tidbit. That was I think it was in year 2000, they had the NAACP National Convention in Baltimore, Maryland. And I say this with great pride, but not arrogance. They had selected as their film, the film that Denzel Washington was in, Hurricane, I think it was called, where he played the boxer. Yeah. And The Visit, after the NAACP committee saw The Visit, they bumped Hurricane and put The Visit in the slot and said, these are the types of films we want to represent the African American community. So that was a nice little feather in my cap and a tremendous experience. So, yeah.
I understand it's filmed. I understand they stayed on HBO for 38 consecutive months.
Crazy. It was absolutely phenomenal. And there's a bittersweet message in that, because and I don't want to sound like sour grapes, but it had potential to do incredibly well at the box office. But as you know, being in this business as many years as you have been in the business, sometimes egos become involved, and politics become involved, and greed gets involved. So as a result, instead of going the route that we initially were going to go, because Disney was very interested in purchasing the film, but the people that were the executive producers opted to go a different route. And so we ended up doing a deal with HBO. But the beauty of it is that a multitude of people saw it. And yes, it was 38 months consecutively that it aired every month. I guess that's what consecutively means on HBO, yes.
Gotcha. 2000, you did a play called Friends and Lovers. That one, how did that do?
I didn't write that. I was one of the writers on that. Right. And many people know Jacarius Johnson because he's toured plays all throughout the United States. And he did exceptionally well. I believe Friends and Lovers, it was based on a novel by, I think his name was Jerome Dickey, I think. Okay. But at any rate, he had great commercial success with that.
How many plays have you done?
I've written my own personal plays. I've written 16, and guess what, Mr. Brew? I was inspired, which is usually when it happens to me, and I'm waking out of my sleep, and I listened to the voice of God and the Spirit of God. Last night, the night before last, I was woken up and said, okay, it's time to write Visited. So I am in the process, or about to begin writing Kosmond Russell's one-man show, where I will write it and perform it. And it will be entitled Visited, and that'll be number 17.
Okay. Let's fast forward to 2016. You did a play called The Marriage.
Yes, that was autobiographical. I was married to a beautiful woman, and I mean inside and out. But as so many people have experienced in this world, mental illness. She suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, and it was a challenge. We were married for 13 years, and it was cathartic for me to just write about it because there was a lot of pain, there were a lot of tears, there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of anxiety. And the thing that got me through it was writing about it. And I had an incredible cast. I had Dawn Lewis played my wife, Sean Blakemore, who is doing exceptionally well. I think I don't watch soap operas, but the soap opera that's on now, he's the regular on that.
Okay.
And
Guess what?
What?
We got a clip. We got a clip.
Good.
Hello, Tony.
Good.
Without further ado,
I like
Miss
long
Dawn
walks in
Lewis.
the park.
Hi, Dawn. Good to see you.
Hi,
Thank you so
good to
much for
see
being
you.
here.
Oh, of course,
Thank you.
Ron.
Thank you.
Always good to
Thank you.
see you.
Please tell us about your role in this play.
My role in the play, I play Angelique Charles, the woman who would have been Kosmond's wife that is suffering from mental illness. She starts out as a very successful businesswoman, and you watch her slow decline into succumbing to this illness. We learn that mental illness is hereditary. My mother suffers from it in the play, and you just watch this woman doing her best to keep it all together, but ultimately you just can't. She decides that she's stronger than what is happening in her body, and she decides to go off of her meds, and
She won a lot of medals. I happened to find that video last night. I said, "That's us way back when we first started doing this show." And you were standing next to her. Most of the cast was there. Beautiful show we did. Thank you so much. I know we're running out of time. I just want to take it to one more picture that you did. That's called the sermon.
Oh, yeah. That started off me writing a one-man show for myself, but it
Yes.
went in a different direction. I didn't perform in it. Tony Grant, who is now lead singer for Temptations,
Yes.
he performed, and LaVan Davis played the voice of God. So LaVan Davis is the father. He plays the father on the House of Pain. Tyler Perry's The House of Pain. So he was off stage. Tony was on stage, and it's a basic interaction between God and man, and the lead character doesn't believe in God. He rejects God. He says, "You don't exist. Why should I believe in you?" And God has this conversation with him. And it's a humorous piece that then at the end becomes very deep and spiritual. And it's a fun piece. I had a lot of fun writing that play and was blown away with the performances and the acceptance by the audiences.
Okay. We happen to have a clip. Hold it, Tony.
And God stepped out on space, and he looked around and said, "I'm lonely. I'll make me a world." And as far as the eye of God could see, darkness covered everything.
Excellent. Excellent. We only got a couple of hot seconds.
Okay.
How you doing with your health, though?
I am doing wonderful, as you know, and thank you for all of your support and your prayers. On March 10th, I had surgery for stomach cancer, and I won't go into a long, drawn-out thing, but I am feeling wonderful now. I have an incredible medical team. My surgeon and I have actually become very good friends. I spoke with him last night. I'll be celebrating my 68th birthday this Saturday. And there was a time I would never have given my age, but you know what, man? Every day, brew is a blessing. So I'm thankful, and I shout to the heavens, thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to be here. So I go through chemo in about 2 weeks, chemo and radiation. So I'm doing great. Continue to lift me up in prayer. And for all of those of you that have sent me cards, those cards they bless me and inspire me, and I look at them every day, and it's like you guys shouting your love to me, and I thank you. But I'm doing well. Just continue to lift me up in prayer.
Excellent. Excellent. Sincerely want to thank you for being here today. Also, continued success in what you love the most, stage plays, and may God be with you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kosmond Russell.
And I want to give a quick shout out to my brother Charles Russell, who has transitioned, but today is his birthday. So I want to give a shout out to the heavens for my brother Charles Russell.
Thank you, cousin. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to let you know that we are asking our Actor's Choice squad to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt, who passed away January 20th, 1997, was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. Here's all you got to do. Contact our office at 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Roll it, Tony.
Hi, I'm James Samuel, the founder and CEO of Pluribus Incorporated, the makers of Angel Tech. I'm here today to tell you about a revolutionary technology that we've created to protect and save your life and that of your loved ones. You can think of it as your own personal body camera. Angel Tech is a live streaming GPS-based cloud stored personal security system that provides safety in that moment. It tells your loved ones where you are, when that incident's happening. It sends them an email and a text notification the moment you start streaming, and it gives them a map, and it helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is the founder and CEO of Pluribus Incorporated, headquartered just outside of Washington, D.C. Now, the company produces Angel Tech, the world's premier personal security system. But our guest also has his hands in filmmaking as an executive producer for a short film. To tell you more, please welcome James A. Samuel Jr. Greetings, James, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Hi, Mr. Brewington. Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear. But before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank you, sir, for your unselfish and marvelous service to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, James was a cadet, as you can see right here, at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He was there for 4 years, and then he graduated with an engineering degree. James, what was that experience like for you?
Well, it was hard, but it was fantastic. I mean, 18,000 acres at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, 7,258 feet is the altitude of the Air Force Academy, far, far above that of West Point and Annapolis. And it's called Wild Blue U because literally I would wake up at times and there'd be a solid deck of clouds below me when I got up in the morning on my 6th floor window there. There's a picture of the Academy. There you go. So some of those, you've done your homework. So you'd wake up and sometimes there'd be a solid deck of clouds below your dorm room. So you felt like you were in the heavens, in the skies, in the clouds. You literally were in the clouds. And so it's just an amazing experience to learn leadership and followership, and it's a highly technical school of engineering. And so I enjoyed every second of it now that I've been away for a while.
Now, you're trained to fly the best aircraft in the world, the F-15, right?
That's it. It's God's jet, undefeated, over 100 victories in combat, never shot down. So of all fighter aircraft ever produced, it is the most successful combat fighter aircraft ever produced, and I had the privilege of flying that beast.
Wow. How much time did you spend in the Air Force?
I spent about 9 years altogether. With my academy time, it'd be about 13 years total. So of my over 31 years of federal service and experience, 13 of those years were in the Air Force Academy and in the Air Force.
Again, my thanks to you and your family. I was in the military myself, so I can appreciate. I know what that was. I can appreciate that. People don't really. You put that uniform on, and you're asked to do many things in service to this country. And
well, thank you for your service as well, sir.
Amen. Yes, sir. Indeed, indeed. After all that, you started your own company, Pluribus Incorporated. Please tell us about the organization.
Well, thank you for all the product placement. I will take one more chance to do that. There we go.
I like that plug. And there's something behind you.
Yeah, there it is right there.
There it is.
I'm in our office space here. That's not a virtual. That's really a wall. I can reach up there and touch that.
Yes.
So I'm here in our office space in Northern Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C. And on behalf of my whole team, and before I get started and go any further, I really just do want to give all praise, honor, and glory to God. My father, I am, certainly a child of God. I've been blessed and been favored, called to do many things, and I'm just very thankful for his trust and his enablement. But on behalf of my team, Team Pluribus, right? We are a big data company. We produce our first product. It's called Angel Tech. And Angel Tech is your own personal body camera. It is live streaming, as you mentioned there in the previews. Anything happens, you can let your loved ones know where you are. It's geospatially enabled, GPS enabled, and it is there to make sure that you live, Ron, that we live and we survive these encounters with law enforcement, with other people who think they're entitled to our person, our space, our rights. We design Angel Tech so that you would live, you would be free, and that you would be fulfilled and make all those life's milestones you were created to do and fulfill your purpose.
Excellent. How long have you guys been in existence?
I incorporated Pluribus in September of 2019, and we launched our first product in October of 20. That's the Angel Tech app, launched in the iOS App Store a little over a year later. And then we launched it in the Android Google Play Store in February of 21. So we're just getting started, but we're swinging for the fences and we're doing quite well.
That is super. That is super. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is going to be here. He's not in LA right now. He's going to be here in LA. Can you tell us why you're coming here to LA?
Yes, and I'm from Alabama, so where I'm from, LA means Lower Alabama.
Alabama, yes, sir.
I will be there in Los Angeles tomorrow. I have the great privilege of being associated with a great short film that's premiering at the Pan-African Film Festival. Brandon Hammond and Genesis Scott were kind enough to reach out to me and say, hey, we want to include you in our project.
Yes.
And they did some great work, winning the inaugural John Singleton Award, for their short film. Their script is called Amaru. And it's premiering at the 30th Annual Pan-African Film Festival there, on Wednesday. So I'll be flying in tomorrow to support the team there and to be a part of that wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Wow. Now, as you know, this Pan-African Film Festival and Arts Festival has been around for 30 years now. And this is if you got a film and you want people to show it, this is a place to do it. Thank you all for coming and saying and me, let people see what this is all about. Definitely. Definitely. Now, you mentioned the name of
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. You mentioned a movie. It's called Amaru, a short film. You're the executive producer. Can you tell folks how were you selected for that position?
Well, by the grace of God, right? They reached out to me. Brandon Hammond of Soul Food fame, right? He was the young guy who played the small boy in Soul Food, movie Soul Food. Brandon and Jennifer Genesis Scott, this was their project, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, we love what you're doing. Would you join us and lend your technology and what you're doing and the movement and the cause that you are in real life doing to our script that is on very, very coincident and parallel tracks?" The script of Amaru is about finding out our purpose and living into and experiencing our purpose, right? And living to fulfill our purpose. And we're all called to do many different things. And Amaru finds his purpose through this film. So it's a really wonderful story about fulfilling our purpose and our destiny that too many of us get cut short in our lives. But, Amaru cares deeply about his community and he discovers his purpose. And I'm just privileged to be a part of that storyline because our technology with Angel Tech is, again, about living to make your life's milestones and finding and fulfilling your purpose, which Amaru does in a really, really creative way. And so my hat's off to Brandon and Genesis and the rest of the films, the whole team. I'm can't wait to meet them because we've done all this virtually, right? And so it's going to be a great privilege to be with them there on the red carpet here in a couple of days.
James, we just happen to have a clip. Roll it, Tony.
Everything that's happened the past couple of days. Strange, right?
Hella.
And all these occurrences are connected to you somehow.
Whoa! I'm not right to report. 2 black male suspects. Hey! Violent. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Both are suspected to be armed and dangerous. Give me the phone. Chill.
Hot subject. Hot subject.
Yeah, I mean, talk about timely, right? Very, very timely. And they've got a great cast on this movie. Jermaine Williams also is in this short film, and working with him on another project, which we'll talk about hopefully later. Wink, wink. But it is a great, timely storytelling of a very relevant topic to our whole community, to the whole world. I mean, we saw what happened on May 25th, 2020 to Mr. George Floyd, and that changed the world. It really did. And it caused people like me and Brandon and Genesis and others to leap into action in our own spheres of influence, in our own ways, to try to solve this problem and shine a light on this problem. And so I'm just thankful to be able to work so coincidentally on our coincident path together. One for me from a true life technology standpoint, and then from a storytelling standpoint to bring change into the world.
We got a lot of wannabe filmmakers out there watching what you're saying in here today. Can you explain to them exactly what does this mean when you're the EP, as they call it, the executive producer? What does that mean?
Well, I'm learning that for myself, right? Because I'm a technologist, I'm a fighter pilot, and I'm an engineer. And so, and I spent 31 years in service to our nation, both nationally and internationally. So this is a new opportunity for me. But an executive producer, as I understand it, is someone who has not total creative control, but has a voice, right? Is able to say, hey, I think this story should proceed like this. Or it would be great if we kind of emphasize certain, they're not a director, but they are at the highest levels to say, I am helping you produce this. I'm lending my time, my talents, my treasures to this film and this project. And I think, my vote for it should be, this, that, or the other. And so you have influence in the way the story unfolds and the way the film is produced. And that's my understanding. You're just the support at the highest levels.
Got you. Because there are a lot of EPs, but as you said, a treasure. You're putting some of your money into this film, into this project. And there's a lot of people that do that. They have the money, they put it into a project. Sometimes you wait to see that it's a successful project, and you do what you can do. But one thing is for sure, when you're down here at the Pan-African Film Festival here in LA, a lot of people are going to see it. Can you please direct or tell us, do you know what part of the pavilion you'll be in and when they play it on tomorrow night?
I don't know. I think it's going to be around 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, 7 or 7:30. I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but I would just ask folks to look at all the material, look for Amaru. And if you don't know, and I didn't know, but Amaru is actually Tupac Shakur's middle name, right? It was a while into this project that a friend of mine actually tell me that his name was Zach. He's like, oh, you do know Amaru is Tupac's middle name? And I said, I did not know that. But there is a lot of synergy between Tupac's real life story and Amaru's fictionalized story and account. And so, yeah, just look for Amaru and come see us.
I understand that you have a role in this movie. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I play myself, right? So it's perfect. I can't think of anyone better. Maybe Denzel could play me someday, but right now I'll be happy playing myself. And I play the role of a technologist. And so I'm a real life CEO of a data and a tech company. Pluribus is a Delaware C corporation. And you can find us on the App Store and the Google Play Store under our app called Angel Tech, Angel with a J, ANGEL .tech, or you can go to angel.tech, or you can go to angel.live, right, LIVE, and you'll see that Pluribus is a real company. And so, but we're producing tools and technologies in real life to help the story of Amaru and others in real life make their lives more survivable and more accountable, make others more accountable. And so that's how they call me in, and I get to play that role in the movie. You'll see.
We got a few more moments, but you mentioned the fact that you have a TV pilot in development right now.
Yeah, that's something in much earlier stages, right? So I'm working with a lady by the name of Tracy Baker Simmons, from Boston's Finest and from Being Bobby Brown and other fame, and then with a gentleman by the name of Steph Watts, who was the producer for Nancy Grace on HLN. And so we are working on a TV project to really tell these same kinds of stories, right? And we're putting together right now, we're in the early kind of conceptual phase, and we are then going to, make the pitch reel and shop it around the different networks, try to find a home for this. But we're looking to do some investigative journalism, storytelling at the best levels about all of these stories and these names. I have a shirt with so many names on it that's sadly representative of the plight of, these names, these voices, both male and female, from Eric, Brown to Mike Brown to Eric Gardner to Sandra Bland to, Trayvon Martin to, there's just too many names. Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Ron Brown. There's too many names in too many states and places. And so these stories need to be told. They need to be told nationally and internationally. And we need to really understand what has happened. What are the policies? What are the procedures? What is the environment? What are the tools and techniques that can help us really stem this tide and turn it around, because it's not going in a good direction.
I see that Amaru has won some awards already. Are there any other film festivals that you plan on presenting it at?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'll have to talk to Brandon and Genesis about that. If this is the first one, I think there are others they're thinking about, but I don't have the schedule for that right now. So stay tuned and look for us and follow us.
What do we say? Stay tuned for more, because it's coming our way, indeed. It's quite a business, isn't it, this filmmaking thing?
It is really interesting. What I love about it is it's about storytelling.
Right.
There's something I learned in marketing and advertising as a CEO. I've had to kind of learn other things, about business and marketing and advertising. It's huge, because if you can't connect to your market, then your product could be everything. But if you can't market it, then it doesn't matter, right? And so what I learned about storytelling, when I've always loved movies. My dad used to work at a movie theater when I was a little boy, and I would go with him and I would help clean up all the popcorn afterward. It was a part-time job for him. But I got to watch all these films and just seeing the hero's plight and the story develop, and watching people go from a challenge and overcoming that challenge and being that hero of their own story. Your brain stays captivated and tied to that, because it speaks to your limbic brain, which has no capacity for real language. It's about feelings and emotions, and it's about survival, and it's about thriving, and that's it. And so I love storytelling from that standpoint, and we all have a story. We just need to tell it.
We got to pick one photo to show you before you leave. Who is that? Who is that?
Hey, that is my baby. That is Dr. Evelyn Teague Samuel. She is my one, my only, my rib, mother of our two beautiful children. That's us on top of the Capitol building here in Washington, D.C. You can see the Washington Monument in the distance there. So we're on top of the Capitol there. And she is the reason I'm here. She inspired me to read and to think. And I've always been a reader and a thinker, but of technical things and business things, or for my job and for, but not for myself. Once I started reading for myself, it changed everything. And she's the person who told me you should read more for yourself and expand your mind and horizons. And I thought I was doing pretty good as an SES and an F-15 fighter pilot and engineer, Air Force Academy grad. And, I thought I was doing okay. And she was like, you could do better. So, and with her, I have. And so she's amazing.
Congratulations to you too. But give her my best, please. And James, thank you for sharing your time with us today. All I can say is best wishes to you and welcome to the filmmaking industry. Amen.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Brewington. Thank you, Ron, for this opportunity. I really do hope in real life that people will help protect and save their lives, and visit angel.live, angel with a J, ANGEL.live, because we truly do want you to live and to be free and to be fulfilled. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, James A. Samuel Jr. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today has extensive experience in the world of opera. She's been heard and seen in 85 solo performances at the world-renowned Metropolitan Opera. Wow. Now, among her highlights include 6 solo performances in the Met Opera live in HD, shown in cinemas. And if that's not enough, this lady has sung and danced in a Susan Stroman production of The Merry Widow. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Belinda Oswald. Belinda, how you doing, lady? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being on our show. Last minute call, and here she was right there. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. Now, stunned, marvelous. That's all I can say about the world of opera. Wow. Oh, how many performances did you do?
Oh, I don't really know how many performances. Those are just the ones I had solos in. I couldn't keep track. Thousands.
Wow. Tell our viewers, if you will, where you from?
Well, I was born in Washington State, but lived in suburbs of Denver, and met my husband, and we moved to New York, and now I'm in Arizona.
Arizona, you're just moving around.
Yeah.
For those of us that don't know it, please define what is the opera world.
The opera world is very connected to all performing arts. You are portraying a story through your voice, a highly trained voice. And in big opera houses, the Metropolitan Opera is 3,800 seats, and we don't wear microphones to project our voices out.
I was going to ask you about that. What, there's 3,800 seats in there and no microphone? Can you tell us about why is that?
Well, you are trained to project your voice over the orchestra and into that huge, vast space. And it takes many, many years of training to project and use your diaphragm appropriately and to get that sound out there.
That's awesome, what you just said there, because most people talk and they talk, they bring the volume up, but they don't understand when you're out there doing what you're doing, singing, performing, doing all of the different things, you're projecting that voice. Wow. Oof. Please explain, if you will, ma'am, the difference between live theater versus film and TV.
Well, the Metropolitan Opera has the live in HD around the world, and it's very different because when you're in the opera house, you have to not only project your voice that far, but also your emotions, your body language has to carry to the highest and furthest away seat. Now, when we started doing live in HD, the cameras, literally, we saw the one going across the bottom, this little on a track. And the first time it happened during a rehearsal, you're like, don't look at it, don't look at it. And another one coming from above on booms. And you still have to be able to play to everyone in the opera house, but yet, as you well know, with the camera in your face, every little bit speaks so much bigger than it does far away. So we had to learn to kind of put the two together, because the people paying the huge tickets in the opera house to be able to see you and feel you, what you're doing, you still have to emit enough for them to be able to understand and appreciate. Yet you had to also be in that little small box.
But you did it for how long? What, 9 years, 10 years?
No, I was at the Metropolitan Opera for 20 years.
Woo!
I loved it.
Woo! I'm just thinking, I have a problem saying me, you know.
Oh, that's good. That's very good, Ron. Well, you know, I love your voice. I could listen to it all day.
Thank you. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We'll come back and talk about that. Now, I understand that as a member of the Metro Opera Chorus, portrayed so many characters or people, even in one opera.
Oh, yeah. My favorite one is called Il Trovatore, and it's Verdi. And I first enter as a gun-toting gypsy. And then we do a quick change into I'm a nun. And then that's usually it for the chorus, but I got an acting solo and with all the guys and one of the head bass baritones. And it was called Head Camp Follower and then called Putana. And I was kind of like, let's put it this way, the girl that all the guys wanted to be with. and they were fighting over me. I literally had to do a physical fight scene as well. So, you know, things like that, and crazy not just the costumes, but the wigs and the makeup, quick changes. It's you have to go through you can be pretty schizophrenic.
I heard you speak a few languages there, foreign languages. Can you tell us how many languages do you speak?
Well, I can speak Italian, German, and French pretty well.
Okay.
But I've sung in, of course, English, Italian, German, French, Russian, Czech, Japanese. I've sung in Hebrew, ancient Egyptian, and my favorite one, Sanskrit.
Lady, I take my hat up to you, and I'm not wearing a hat. God bless you. Wow.
Oh, and Chinese. I forgot Chinese too.
Chinese, got to forget that. How many dialects are there in Chinese? Because they got a whole bunch in China.
Oh, I don't know. It was Mandarin, so that wasn't too bad, but kind of had to do it all phonetically. It's a language that we don't use, especially Sanskrit. That was so difficult, but it was one of Philip Glass's compositions.
Got you. People want to get into this business. What kind of education or training do they require?
Well, I don't know if you have to have necessarily the quote unquote education. You do need to learn this called oral theory and being able to understand chords and be able to harmonize, but building the voice to carry far and wide and yet still be beautiful and to be able to enunciate at the same time. So it just takes skill, patience, and a lot of hard work.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the Metropolitan Opera Live in HD?
This is really awesome that they take 6 or 7 operas during the season, and it's one that's dedicated to transmit all around the world, literally live. It's a live Saturday afternoon matinee performance that is shown all over the world. And there's 6 or 7 during the season that they choose.
Belinda, we just happen to have a small clip. Tony, roll it, sir. That is marvelous. I have an expression that I call the 3 E's: education, exposure, and experience. That's exposure, that's education, that's all the 3 E's and then some.
Exactly.
Wow. So many movement. People have to know where you have to be standing at this time and do this and do that.
Oh, yeah. We don't have people that could come off the street and do our job. The costume's fitted just for you. The wig is just for you. You have to know the staging. You have to know the language. You have to know the musical notes from the conductor and the chorus master. Then what's interesting too is it's a very select group of singers that the majority of them were professional opera singers for their solo careers that happened to want a little bit more security and wanted to stay in one place, and they ended up in the chorus.
What kind of award do you qualify for doing Met Opera?
What kind of one? I'm sorry?
What kind of award that you get at being in Met Opera?
Award?
Award, yes.
Well, I mean, I have now 3 Grammy certificates for the best opera recording, but I'm not sure I understand what you mean by award.
I was thinking about the Tony Award.
No, we don't have anything like that.
Interesting.
Sadly, the opera field has very little quote unquote award ceremonies or things. There's little areas that might do that, but we have Grammys that we had, and I am a chorus member of 3 of the award-winning Grammys, and we just won one for Akhenaten, which I was in. So, yay!
This one you'll love. What about salaries? How did it pay okay?
It pays well. We work extremely long hours, and you work most holidays, and it's 6, sometimes 7 days a week. A salary is decent. It's gone down a lot since the pandemic, of course, for people, but there's a little bit of benefit. There's a pension at the end if you get there long enough to be able to get that, and the health benefit, which is through the union now, through AGMA.
Ladies and gentlemen, this lady has just left the opera singing world. Can you please tell us why you left?
Well, partly the pandemic kind of dictated my path a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We were the first ones in the nation to be let go because of the pandemic.
Okay.
And then I always wanted to get back into acting. I did some voiceovers way back when and thought that'd be fun. And I always loved being in front of the camera. So I thought, well, you know what? I think God's trying to tell me something. I think I'm moving on. And so I did.
Think you'll ever go back to opera?
I still sing a little bit, but maybe to do a couple solo roles. But the chorus was grueling because we have 26 operas in a season. So there's always 4 rotating in 1 week. So we're constantly working on what's coming up next, several operas during the day. Then you perform the opera at night. You start all over the next day, and it's a different opera the next night you're performing. So
y'all must be doing something good because you keep the house full every time you do a performance.
Well, we tried. It was a little difficult there for a while, but yeah.
We only got a few more minutes, but I got to ask this question. In 2015, you got your first IMDb credit for being an associate producer for a TV movie called The Pepper Project.
Oh, yeah. My dear friend, Kara Spuchtek, who's a fabulous actress. She created it, wrote, directed, starred, produced, and it was the Pepper Ricochet is the new one, and Pepper Project was the first one. Yeah. Their web series. She's so talented. I'm so proud of her.
Wow. Got another credit for that, I see, as associate producer.
Yeah.
Indeed. You also recently completed a commercial shoot for Modern Physical Therapy in Phoenix, Arizona area. You do everything.
That was fun.
Yes. Goodness, my goodness. And then you're currently portraying Mildred in a Zoom table read called Toadstool Tea by playwright Jamal Williams.
Yes, I loved that so much. The cast, the entire cast. Even though we weren't all together in person, I felt very connected to them all. It was so rewarding. And I loved the whole production and the director and especially the narration.
Oh. Who's doing the narration? Who that?
Someone named Ron.
Thank you I have, like you hear me say many times when we're doing a reading, I'm not an actor, but I love to be around the actors and actresses. There's something about what you do, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, that rubs off on me. And that's why we do this show. We love this particular performance that you ladies and guys do. And it's just, and then of course, we're reading, I can go get this right here. I got the script here right here. And we sit there and read.
Yeah.
But it's just words on a piece of paper. And that's what I admire about you, Belinda. You get out there, and the rest of the people, they get out there and make those words just come up off that page.
That's what it's all about.
I've been lucky, like you said, the Lord has blessed me, and I'm thankful to the Lord for that. But
Amen.
I get a chance with Ian Fox and a few other people to do these kind of things, and it's just fun. And particularly, please tell our audience a little bit about this play, because you can tell them better than I can. Go Toadstool Tea.
Toadstool Tea, and I was kind of the naive character who thought, "Oh, this tea's really good," and it's toadstool. You know what that is? It's a mushroom, but it's kind of senior citizens living in this apartment. I happen to be in a penthouse. Long story short, my dear friend Margaret has Alzheimer's, and what she went through and some past things from her, and just dealing with the friendships, people that they're suffering, yet they all love each other. And in the end, there's some peace, and there was a surprise at the end. I don't want to spoil it all because you're going to see it.
I can't say that, but thank you so so much, Belinda. Thank you. Thank you. Much thanks for you for being our guest today, and continued, I say again, continued success in your career. And I'll see you next week when we get together for another get together.
Thank you, Ron. You take care. It was really a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure, indeed. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much thanks to our guest today, writer, actor, producer Kosmond Russell, executive producer James A. Samuel Jr., actress, producer Belinda Oswald. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.